Welcome back to the table. So I was trying to upload these videos from earlier today. We finished 1942, as you know. We're starting 1943. I was hoping to get these videos uploaded before I started 1943, but my device is having all kinds of issues. So I hope these videos upload. I'm recording more now, so it's going to make the backlog even larger. But I wanted to get 1943 started. So let me just start off by saying that upgrading everything to 1943 was a pain in the butt. It took a lot of effort. And then one thing that the rules don't really cover, but I'm going to cover, I think it's the appropriate application, is there's cases where, so for example, there is no 1943 version of the 7th Infantry. Although they do have a 7th Infantry, but it's named slightly different. There was no 1943 version, for example, of the 4th Kokutai. Okay, so there's still some 1942 units on the board. So the way I'm going to play it is if I ever destroy a 1942 unit, rather than it going into the reinforcement pool to be replaced, it's going to be permanently gone. So at some point, we'll theoretically be only using 1943 pieces. And the same, of course, is going to be true for my units as well, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So as you can see, Japan has quite a bit of reinforcements. So 1943 is going to be a good year for them. Probably 4 to 6 ships. I mean, I sank a lot of their ships in 42, and a lot of those are replacements, you know, because that same ship existed in 43. So, but anyways, it's good replacements for them. And then for us, look at us, we have a crap ton. The planes, there's quite a few. We have a bit more infantry, and then look at all the ships we can build. That's an amazing amount of ships. So we're going to be very, very busy in 43. So let's move to January, February. One other thing to point out is now that we're using the 43 sheet, obviously we're using this new chart. We're going to get 22 SP points. There is a special rule for 43. The Japanese gain an extra ship and an extra land-based aircraft during each turn's reinforcement roll. I don't know what good that does for them. They're going to probably burn through, oh, excuse me. They're probably going to pull out everything by the middle of the year and not have anything left to build. And then battalions, add the noted number to each Japan-held island at the start of the indicated campaign turn. So, for example, in January, February, they get one on Wake Island, Caroline, and Solomon. So, Wake Island is going to get a battalion, Caroline gets a battalion, and then Solomon is ours. So they don't get one there. We don't have any special rules. They do have like, you know, some, you know, if it's destroyed. I think the biggest thing to point out is the carrier groups. So for the Japanese, their carrier groups are identical to last time. It's going to be, you know, the Val, 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 and then the Kate, and then 2 zeros, right? But for us, the escort carrier is going to have a dive bomber and a Hellcat. The light carrier is going to have one of each. And then the 5 carrier is going to have Hellcat, 2 dive bombers. And then the 6 carrier is actually going to have 2 Hellcats. Okay? So depending on the type of carrier, we have a whole bunch of different configurations for us. The last thing is the objectives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're adding Wake Island and Marshall Islands. 2 new objectives are being added this turn. And they, of course, are both Japanese right now. So if we look on the board, Marshall Island and Wake Island are both getting some Japanese markers. So we need to have 4 objectives or we get eliminated this game. Now, Alaska, Hawaii, and Midway are 3 of the 4. So we just need to hold 4 Actually, 5, because 4 or less we get ejected. So we got to stay busy, and of course we're going to try our best to do that. This particular round is the round where I'm going to have all kinds of ships, because things got wonky and now we have all of our ships in one game turn. Everything moves up. So this is our situation. We just produced a Marine unit. That's going to go on the west coast. And I think I said we get 22 this round. There's a big part of me that wants to, because I'm at my capacity here, I have 10, 14, 18, I have 20 points of ships. So I'm at my capacity. I can't build any more ships, even if I wanted to. But we are going to get some of them to come off next turn. We could try to build to upgrade, which is always important. But I'm looking at the situation and I see a bunch of planes and infantry not getting built at the moment. So I can build up to 6 infantry. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's get 6 of those suckers going, right? So that's going to take a 10, and I'm going to have 4 left. So now I'm at 16. Now let me get those in view for you. So I'm at 16, and I have 1 plane being built. This one actually costs 3. And what's funny is I only spent 2 to build this plane, but it now costs 3 because of the 43 upgrade. So I got a little bit of some discounts, if you will. So here's one that costs 3. And if I build this one, which I will, that's actually my plane capacity of 6. So I need to be careful now. These planes are getting a bit more expensive. So that costs 3. So I'm going to spend this. And I actually have 13 points. I'm sorry. I have 13 points left. So let's crack and let's update some stuff then. So I can put 8 points towards the shipyard. So I'm going to do that. Let's put 8 points towards the shipyard. That's my max. I have 3 points left. I still have 2 points carried over from 1942. So technically I have 5 points left. I can put 5 points towards the plane assembly lines, which would help me to build more planes. That might be a good idea. And obviously but see, that would spend all my supply points again, and that's probably not a good idea. So I think what I'm going to do is save them. So here we go. I have 2, 3, 4, 5 points saved up. So I'm going to just live with the 5 points, and what I'm really worried about is next turn when I only have this, but I will get 2 more ships built for that turn, so that'll be semi-helpful. So yeah, this is my turn to do stuff. I have all kinds of troops available, and then on top of that, I have Midway Island is not necessarily going to be the island they attack all the time now. So we're safe from the Midway attack. The best they can roll is a sortie now, which is an 18. So, and that's not to say that they won't do that. 18 means they're going to go after an objective. So my objectives are all, possibly at stake here. But I feel very nice about this situation. So this MAG-23 is a real good fighter. So is this Marine unit. And I don't necessarily want, and right now we have a battle going on here where 2 infantry are up against this stack of doom. And then of course we have 2 more targets we would like to take. We have 3 fleets here. And if I'm willing to spend 3 of my points, I might be able to pin them. And if I pin them, I might be able to take them out. And the problem is, if I spend 3 of my points to pin them, I only have 2 points left for battle plans. But I think that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 3 points, and let's pin them. And the reason I want to do this is look at my stacks of ships. I want to have a big battle and take them down. So, so yes, this guy needs some relief. I have a Marine unit here, which can get on a transport and land here to give them some relief. I have a Marine unit from the West Coast, which will also join them. And then as far as Wake Island is concerned, actually the other Marine unit's going to go to Wake Island. And then from here in Midway, we're going to send a 3 over to help there, and a 3 to help there. What I don't have is I can't really, I'm not going to send ground troops to try to take the Marshall Islands. I just want to win at the Marshall Islands. I don't want to take it at the moment. So what else can I do? Well, I have some planes here. So I have 3 of them that I can fly over. This one can let me have 4 planes. So I can send 3 over to help at this battle. I would love to send this plane here, but I don't have an extra battalion unit to give them. I mean, I could send this here. Actually, I could do that and then put this up there like so. So now we have some planes helping out with that battle. I kept 2 planes on Midway, which is probably not enough to defend Midway if they go after me. But all right, so we bought 3 scouting, and we're going to scout the Carrier Fleet 3 first, then 1, and then Surface Fleet 3. And what we're hoping to see is if we can pin them there. So Carrier Fleet 3 first. I rolled a 2, which is a hold. So he is pinned. These are going to be pinned, by the way, because that's a ground battle. And as far as other pinned ones, this one will be pinned and that one will be pinned. But everything else is still up for grabs. Okay. All right, so let's try Carrier Fleet 1. I rolled a 2, but we add a 2 because of this thing, and that is going to be a refit action. So he adds 2, and so that Carrier Fleet's going to go back to Japan. But the nice thing is that we don't have to worry about it. So the scouting action still paid off for us. And now the Surface Fleet number 3. I rolled a 5 plus 2 is 7. That's also a refit, so he's going back. And by the way, the refit action takes 3 planes with them. You see that? And there's no battle here yet. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. And we get to do the scouting before we do our movement, so I can change my mind about a few things. And I'm actually going to do that because now that all those planes are gone, I see an opportunity to take this island. Carrier Fleet 3, by the way, has no transports, and since it's not moving, it doesn't get more. So I have an opportunity to take that. And the question is what do I use to take it? And I think what I'm going to do is this plane will hold New Guinea. I'm going to transport this guy to the Solomon Islands, and then this one I'm going to transport to Marshall, like so. Okay, so what's the rest of our movement going to be? Well, I have all kinds of stuff going on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 subs, and I am going to listen to somebody's advice now and put them all on the raiding block. Since I have 4 of them and they have a lot of reinforcements there, I'm going to slow down their reinforcements. So we'll do that. So what's the special rule for them? It says they gain 1 extra ship and 1 extra land-based aircraft during every reinforcement roll. So they're already getting more. Do I really want to do that though? Part of me is like, you know what? They're going to just produce what they're going to produce. Nope, I'm taking it back again. I'm going after the carrier fleet because 4 subs going after the carrier fleet is pretty juicy. So here we go. Destroyer, 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 destroyer. So 4 destroyers. I'm going to hold that one to the side. We have a Yorktown, a Saratoga, and an Enterprise. 3 carriers. I don't have my 4th one. That's right, because it got sunk. And then some of our best cruisers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 5 of them. 5 of our best cruisers are going to participate in this. So big battle, no whammies. As far as like these other 4 cruisers, what we can do is we can just support the other landings, right? So I can send 2 cruisers here and 2 cruisers down here, for example. And then this destroyer, I'm actually going to hold back in Hawaii to join. So I'm going to just leave him in Hawaii to join the next guy, the next cruiser. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and there's all kinds of risk and peril involved with what I'm doing right now, but let's see how it plays out. So we go to the Japanese turn, and the lowest amount of troops I counted is here and here. There's 2. So we'll start with Wake Island. And remember, they can still move because we haven't landed or anything. So just because there's a battle pending, but this the moves are simultaneous, if you think of it that way. So Wake Island, he rolled a 1. He adds 2, that's a hold. This does go up by 4, and the, basically the infantry is staying, this 1 infantry, and then I got to roll again for the other infantry. That's an 8 plus a 5, that's a 13. He's moving 1 closer to Hawaii, but he cannot because it requires Japanese forces to be ashore. So what he's going to do instead is he's going to do this roll here. And I rolled a 10, so he's going to do an offensive, which is so interesting. An offensive is the only way this gets triggered. So he is attacking Midway Island. And 1 battalion against 2 planes. I'm actually a little nervous. Because it's very easy to miss and not kill that battalion. Okay, so that's done. And now we're going to roll for the Caroline Islands. And by the way, the offensive knocks this thing down by 8 points. So Caroline is a 4, which is a refit. So this guy is going to go back to Japan and rest. And that means this one's done as well. So next one we have is Okinawa. Okinawa's got about 3 units there. The refit did cause this to go up by 2. This is a 9. So we now have a withdrawal. They're going to go 1 closer to Japan. And it's going to be 1 infantry and 2 planes. So the infantry will go. And one of the planes will go. And that's it. All right, so now it gets a little trickier. I'm going to say the Iwo Jima's next, then Marshall or Mariana Islands, and then Japan's last. So Iwo Jima. That's a 4. By the way, this would have moved up by 1. 4 plus 2 is 6. So they're going to refit. So Surface Fleet 1 goes back to Japan. So does an infantry. and 3 of the planes. All right, we still got more. So let's keep rolling. And this would go up by 2. I rolled a 1, so now we have a hold for the rest. So everything else is holding on Iwo Jima. Okay, so now we go to Battleship Fleet 1, and it gets a +5. 6 + 5 is 11. They're doing a support. So Battleship Fleet 1 is moving backwards. The support does cause it to move up by 1, so now we're at +10. Let's see. And then we're moving an infantry with them. And actually that infantry is going to go onto the battleship itself, along with this battalion here. And this infantry. Basically, he's taken as much of the infantry with him as he can. And he actually has to take 1 more from the pool. And then this plane's going back as well. This last plane has to stay, obviously, to hold the territory. So Carrier Fleet 4 is a 16. So that's a reinforce. They're going to an objective where Japanese forces are onshore. And that is only the Japanese objectives. Nowhere else. And I just realized I flew everything out of here, and that was a mistake on my part. So I'm going to grab one of the planes and have it hold that area. It was planes that was there. I flew them all out instead of leaving one behind. Okay, so 3, 6, 9. I rolled a 7, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means Carrier Fleet 4 is going to Wake Island. That's not a good thing for us. And with him is going to be a transport and 1 battalion. On there, this battleship fleet is done. So Wake Island is now going to be a bit of a challenge. Carrier Fleet 4 is not something to be messed with. I don't have a strong force there. So that one's going to be just about surviving and not taking a lot of losses. Last but not least is Japan. So we're starting with Surface Fleet 2. They rolled a 10. So they're doing a sortie, which is causing this to drop by 4. They're going to a U.S. held objective other than the Hawaiian Islands and Alaska. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I rolled a 2, so they're going after New Guinea. So Surface Fleet 2 is coming to New Guinea, and they don't have any units with them, so they're going to bring 2 battalion units. And that's it. Okay, well, that's going to be on a transport. All right, next one is Carrier Fleet 2. I rolled a 1 plus a 5 is a 6. That's going to be a hold for them because they're already in Japan. So they're going to stay in Japan along with 3 of the planes. And then actually that last action, the battle action would have put 2 planes in Japan. So all the planes are gone. All that's left is Carrier Fleet 5, which is a very formidable opponent. So I really don't want them to come and attack anything. And I rolled a 9 plus a 10. I do get, I'm sorry, we're not adding 10. Oh my gosh, I'm adding 8. So this sortie would actually be a reinforce. And this reinforce would actually be a battle. Okay, so the reinforce I'm not as worried about, right? That's the Carrier Fleet 4. Yeah, that one I'm not as worried about. It. The sortie I am, because that sortie wouldn't have happened. And the +5 wouldn't have happened either. Okay, we got a couple retcons we got to do. The first one was this guy would not be going here. He would be going to one of these. And since I rolled a 2, I've been using this one, so he would be going here with his transports. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second one is I said that Carrier Fleet 2 was going to hold because it was like a 1 plus a 5, which is 6, but it's really a 1. And see, and I was adding 5. See, it's only a plus 4. I'm looking at the wrong column. So it's really 1 plus an 8 is a 9, which is a withdrawal. Well, that still would have been a hold, so we're okay there. And now this Carrier Fleet is a 9 plus an 8. They're doing a sortie, which is 17. So they're going after an objective, 2, 4, 6, 8. And we got a 7. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 is Samoa. So that's a problem child for us. But Carrier Fleet 5 is coming here with 1 battalion. So if I would have known that, I would have been able to head them off at the pass, but that's the case there. So lots of interesting stuff happened here. There are quite a few battles to resolve. And my mistake, I'm so used to playing 1942, I added the wrong column. So that was dangerous. You don't even add +5, you add +4 now when you're in the third row. So it's +1 instead of +0, +2, +4, +8. You see that? So I did it wrong most of the round, but it's fine. We can make this work. The one that's attacking Midway Island was not a mistake. That one, as you can see, it is possible for them to get the offensive action. Okay, so which one do we do first? There's a lot to choose from here, but I'm thinking let's get the easier ones out of the way first. So let's do Samoa. Samoa is one that we're actually heavily outnumbered, and we just need to survive. So we have a single unit in the foxhole, and they have a battalion on a transport coming in, and they have a Carrier Fleet 5, which has a lot of ships. 5 of them, in fact. So this is a bit of a problem. So let's get the camera out here. So you can see they got a destroyer. All right, so full-blown carrier, Hiryu and Kaga. Okay, so 2 full-blown carriers. The highest anti-air will join them, so the Yamato goes up there. And then the highest naval combat goes there, and then this one goes up here. So even though we're just a lonely little infantry, that's still how they operate. So we got the cruiser that can hit us, and let's see how many rounds we're going. We want this to be a short battle, and it's not. It's 3 rounds. That's bad. So what do I want to do? I want to buy the thing. I'm going to buy the thing that reduces the rounds by 1. That's my only solace here. I mean, I could do a successful infantry attack and all that jazz, but I'm not that interested in that. I just want to reduce the rounds by 1, and I'm actually quite concerned that I'm going to get my supplies cut off again because of this. So I really do have to beef up these islands, and I'm glad I'm producing a lot of infantry for that reason. Okay, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 6 units, so that means they get 2 battle plans. All right, so 2 battle plans, and let's get going. First battle plan is they get a +1 on all rolls. That's not good. And the next one is submarine warfare. Okay. All right, so there's nothing much to do. They have 2 full carriers. So I'm looking over again. It's the same loadout as before. Here you can see the 0, it's slightly weaker. The Val is the same. And the Kate also the same. And here. All right, so there's only 1 target for them, so I don't need to roll. Everybody is going to have fun tonight and Wang Chung tonight on the island right there. So I don't have any anti-aircraft, it's just survive the rolls. So they have 2 2s and 2 4s. So let's roll the 2 2s, misses, and the 2 4s, both hits. So we're eliminated before we even had a chance. So that blows. This was a 1942 unit that I did not have a replacement for, so I'm gonna count that as permanently out of the game. Just like they would do for me. Sorry, I knocked over a whole stack of stuff. Okay, so yes, out of the game. So that blows. I totally didn't even consider that. And yeah, we don't even get to do anything. So, yay us. Lost that objective quick. And the battalion goes on to Samoa. There's not much you can do when you have a whole carrier fleet up against a single infantry. But that's part of the challenge of this game, is if you divide your navy up, then you get crunched in a different way. So you sort of want to overpower when you can, but it is what it is. That Yamato is pretty powerful. Okay, so let's do another small battle. Midway. Midway's rules are pretty simple. They just can't use the airfield, and we know that. Midway is a simple battle in general because all they have is a battalion that's on a transport, and then we have 2 planes. So we're going to take this battle plan where a bomb is a success, and they have 1 that they draw for themselves, which is a bogus one, first light. Let's roll for how many turns we get. We get 1 turn, and they get the 1 battle plan. Our bombers are gonna go after them. We get to roll 2 4s, and this is a matter of if we hit them, we're gonna sink them, because I have the bomb hit counts as an extra. And there it is, right there. There's the 4, we sink it, and we defended Midway pretty easily, in fact. So, but that's no different than what they just did to us, except I did it with less units. That's the only difference. Okay, so now let's get to something that's a little more meaty, but still bad for us, and that's Wake Island. Okay, so this one, we have, oh, I gotta grab the right. So in this one, we may not have airfields until we hold the island. If the US has never held the island, they get a fortification, which they will. And so for us, we have a transport with 2 infantry. They have a battalion and then one that's coming. And then they have Carrier Fleet 4, and this is the part where we're going to get creamed. Carrier Fleet 4, by the way, adds another battalion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships. Jiminy Christmas. Light carrier, full carrier, and full carrier. So 3 freaking carriers, and even odd. I rolled an odd. So these goes up there, and this guy's supporting. And then all we have are 2 cruisers. So that's not a good match. I think we want to just minimize our turns on this one. So let's see how many turns there are. Let's hope it's like the last one. It is, only 1 turn. And the good news here is, since it's only 1 turn, we can actually we can just spend points on regular stuff instead of trying to reduce the turns. So I think if our surface ships hit, I want to do another hit. And I'm not going to have infantry ashore or anything like that. But I am going to have anti-air. So if I hit with an anti-air, it counts as 2 hits. So that's what I'm going to do, because there's only 1 target for them, and it's going to be the coastal. So all those planes again are coming at us. So we have I'm only going to put 3 of them out. There's 2 full carriers, so there's 2 sets of these, and then there's a light carrier, which is only missing the torpedo bomber, right? So the light carrier will have these 2. So everything else, so basically there's 3 sets of everything here. And they're going to go after our ships, and we're in trouble. There's no getting around that. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which counts as 2 battle plans for them. Here's 1, and there's 2. First one is they get a plus to their battle, and they get a +1 to all rolls, so I'm not happy about that. So first thing is anti-air for us. So I have a 3 and a 2. It's not very promising. The 2 will be the blue, and they both miss. So we don't even get the extra hit, and now they get to pummel us. So they have 2 6s and 1, 2, 3 4s. So let's do the 2 6s first. Those are 2 hits, and then the 3 4s, all 3 hits. They hit me 5 times. Our ships are both sunk. So that's 2 4 hits. Both ships are sunk. These are both 1943 ships, so they're out of the game. That blows. And our transport got hit too. So so now I'm going to roll for their battleship. I rolled a 3, and they sank our transport. So our infantry unit's dead as well. So one of them was a 1942 Marine, and it's out. I am extremely disappointed in this one. I don't know. I mean, what was I thinking? I guess I was thinking that we would eke one out and not have to deal with all this nonsense on Wake Island. But sure enough, they brought the heat to this one. And I guess that's the difference, right? They're not going for Midway anymore, so now they're defending their targets. So what do I expect? I'm not going to be able to just go in with 1 infantry unit and take an easy objective. That's, I think, the lesson learned here. So this blew a lot of chunks. Losing the Marine unit was big because I can't replace that. The 2 cruisers I can't replace either. And what's crazy is they were 1943 cruisers. So I had a 1942 version of them. I could have just, built them new one, but because I chose the upgrade rule, now they sank the 1943 version. So it is what it is. I mean, it's not like I lost the objective there, but so now we're going to do the Gilbert Islands, and we have to win this one, and we may not, because this is super hard. But the reason we have to win this one is because we don't have supply anymore. So I'm off to a very bad start. That's what I'm trying to say. And for the next 2 turns, I'm not going to have a Navy. That's even worse. So they get their Navy all the time. So here's their transport. And Surface Fleet 2 is thankfully not a lot of ships, but it's still some. It's 2 cruisers and a destroyer. Okay, so it's at least something. I have 2 infantry in foxholes, so I can be a little dangerous. And then we have some planes. In fact, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And we do have some cruisers of our own, 2 of them. And so we're almost evenly matched there. And we have our own transport with a Marine unit. But the big difference and the difference maker for them is their foxholes are loaded with really powerful infantry. So they have 4 very strong infantry and 2 battalions. So this is not going to be an easy job. All right, I forgot to put the Carrier Fleet 4 away, so give me a second while I do that. All right, so I may want to spend a battle plan here. It's all going to depend on how many turns we get. Oh gosh, they rolled a 9. So this is going to be 4 turns. Oh, okay. I'm spending a point to add 3 battle plan points to us. So I'm going to let a ship surface attack do an extra hit. I'm going to add artillery as soon as I can find it. So we automatically get a hit there. So that's 3. And then I have 3 more. I'm going to stop a hit on an airfield, and I have 1 more point. Leathernecks. If there's Marines ashore, I stop 1 hit on the island. I'm landing Marines right now. I could have used that actually in the last battle, but that's okay. The Marines I don't think ever even got ashore. That's the problem. I could have made a bomb do an extra hit, but that would have cost 3 of my points. So instead, I'm going to just roll an extra attack with an infantry. So we're going to do 5 there. And for them, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they're going to get 3 battle plans. And let's see what they get. 1, 2, and 3. First one is air combat. They don't have any air units. Here, they're going to adjust the battle duration by 1, up or down, depending on how many they have. And they're going to stop a hit on a carrier. So, not too bad. Okay, so our aircraft. What are we going to do with our aircraft? Well, if you'll notice, our aircraft are, all 3 of these are land-based, so they're going to go after land targets. This one, however, is sea-based, so we're going to go after sea target with that one. So, see if we can hit their sea units. But the other 3 will go after land. The one going after the sea unit will have an anti-air of 2 that they're going to roll. And they rolled a 2. Jesus criminy. So we got hit already. And then we do bomb run. So we hit them with a 2. This is the sea unit 1. I rolled a 4. And then the other 3 are 5, 5, and 4. So the 4 will be the blue unit. and I missed with all three. So all my bombers missed. This is not a good start. Torpedoes, depth charges, so now it's naval guns. So they hit with a 4-4-3. The blue will be the 3. And they do hit once. And then we hit with a 4-4. And we hit once, okay? And then I'm gonna spend the thing that lets me hit twice. All right, so they hit once, and it's not as you might think. They're gonna hit the airfield, and then we're gonna block that hit with the CBs, okay? So we hit twice, and it's the same deal. We have to go with the lowest target, which is actually a battalion unit. So the battalion unit gets taken out. We don't get to hit their ships, unfortunately. So that's how that plays out. And now we're onto the naval attack. So I have 2 3s. I get to roll, and that's a hit. Okay, so I got 1 hit with my infantry, and then I also have an artillery, which will hit another one. I can already tell you that those 2 hits have to be the battalion unit, so it'll be gone. But they do get to roll 1, so let's roll that. That's a 9. And then they have 3 4s and a 3. Let's do the 3 4s. Miss, miss, and miss. And then the 3 is a miss. So we got lucky there. And that ends the first round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So since they have more than us, they're going to add 1 to the turn, so we're still going to have 4 turns left. They're going to land these 2 battalions, which stink because we finally got rid of the battalions and we're going to sink something real. And now those 2 battalions are going to absorb all of our hits. They're on the beaches, just like our Marine is on the beach. And I think I'm going to try to do the same thing with my bombers. The MAG-23 is going to still try to hit theirs, even though they have anti-air. And all 3 of these are set aside. 1, 2, and 3. This time they're getting naval gun bonus, stop 1 hit, and bombers, okay? So this one is actually really good for them. So their anti-air gets a +2, and their best is a 2, so they got a 4. They're rolling against me, so their anti-air missed, which is good. Our bomber gets to roll a 2 against them. We missed. And then now we have 3 bombers, a 4-4-5 with the, a 5-5-4 with the 4 being the blue. And it's a miss, miss, miss again for us. Ay, those bombers should be hitting. 50% chance. We've missed 4 times. 40% chance, missed twice. Okay, so that's done. Now we do the naval attack. I'm a little concerned now because they're no longer a 4-4-3. They're now a 6-6-5. So the blue will be the 5. So that's an 8, and this is a 7. There is 1 hit on us. So that 1 hit, I'm going to use the leathernecks to stop 1 hit on the island. So we canceled their hit. So I do like the Marines. That does make them awesome. Then we roll 2 4s, and we got a hit. And we do hit with 1. And like I said, all it does is hit the battalion because having 4s doesn't really help us much. So, I'm sorry, not having 4s. The battalions are absorbing all the hits because they have 0 in the brackets. Okay, so then we go to the infantry attack. We roll 2 3s, and those are both misses. And they're going to roll 3 4s, miss, miss, and hit. And then they're going to roll a 3, which is a miss. So I'm going to take a hit on one of my infantry because I don't want to lose the airfield. So now we go down to 3 turns. The Marines are in the foxholes, as are the battalion units. Okay, so 3 turns left. They stop a hit, so that battalion didn't even take its hit, right? So I'm drawing 3 more. What do we got? +1 on all attack rolls, no attack in the ocean, and their submarines get a bonus. So the +1 on all attack rolls is their big one. So we're going to start off with them rolling anti-air. They get to roll a 2. That's a 5, so it's a miss. We hit them with a 2. I rolled a 3. Okay, so misses all across the board. And now we have a 5-5-4 with blue being the 4. And that's a 3, so that hits. This is the 4, so it misses. So we finally get 1 hit on them. Yippee skippy. And now we attack with the Navy guns. So they have a 4-4-3 with blue being the 3. And it's all misses. And then we get 2 4s. This one was a 1, so that's a hit. And we finish off the battalion. This isn't looking good. All right, so then we go to the infantry. I'm going to use this to get an extra attack for the infantry, and it's going to be the Marines. So I get 2 5s, basically. And one of them hits, so that's going to be this one. And then I have a 3 and a 2, where the 2 will be blue. And they're both misses. And then they get 3 4s. And there's 2 hits there. And then they have a 3, which is a miss. And they have a 1, which is also a miss. So we did hit the battalion. They just did 2 hits on me. So I'm going to flip this infantry over. And then I'm going to kill off one of my infantry, the 25th. I don't want to lose those planes. Those planes are probably cheap to replace, but right now they're actually better than the infantry at hitting. So, okay, now we're down to 2 turns left. They did get a +1 on all their attack rolls. Oh gosh, I always forget that. I don't know if there would have been extra hits or not. This one we need to replace. Their infantry gets +3, +2. That is awful. But we knew it was coming. No attacks in the ocean. Okay, so their anti-air misses. That's a 4, by the way. Our bomber misses. Then the 2 5s and a 4, the blue being the 4. That's 2 hits. So we finally kill the battalion. And we hit a 1 bracket, which is now this infantry. So it's a very specific infantry that has to take the hit. Okay, and then we move to the Navy guns. So they have a 4-4-3, blue being the 3. That's a 5, a 9, and they do get a 3. So they hit. So I'm losing another infantry. So now I'm attacking infantry, or I'm sorry, my guns are 4s, and they both miss. And then my infantry is a 5, it misses. And then they have 3 4s. They hit with 1, and then they have a 2, and they hit with the 2. So they hit me 2 more times. So now I'm going to start losing some planes. So this is going to a 3 for one of the hits, and I'm going to drop my Marine for the other hit. So we're going to lose this plane here. That one actually cost 3 to build. Holy buckets. Do I really want to lose that plane? Yeah, I do. We're down to the last turn. Their infantry were devastating in that one. And I probably forgot to add the infantry bonus again. 1, 2, 3. I always forget to add those bonuses. So, final turn. Anti-air, no anti-air, so 554. Hit, hit, and hit. So 3 hits. We just killed this infantry off. We get 2 more hits. So we can pick another infantry to take off, and I'm going to take the 1942 one because they can't replace that one. So that one's gone. That was a good run. So now, Navy, so they get a +2, so 663. Hit, miss, miss. So they do hit. So I'm going to have to lose another plane. I'll take this one. And then we get to roll 2 4s. So we missed with both. Our Marine gets to roll, it misses. And their 2 4s roll, and they hit. So I'm going to lose another plane. And that's the end of the battle. So no clear winner. I would say they won. We have an injured Marine, and we no longer have supply lines. That's the part that hurts the most. I guess the good news is we didn't lose our ships. So I think in hindsight, I should have picked one target and just went after that instead of trying to get all of them in one turn. There was no reason to be greedy. We have the whole year to accomplish our objectives. And Japan's going to be a problem child, no matter where we go. So now we're moving on to the Marshall Islands. So the invader may not have any airfields until they hold the island. The U.S. may not move more than 2 infantry from transports to beaches each turn. And if we never held the island, they get a fortification. So we only have 1 infantry coming to beach. Excuse me, so that doesn't matter. They have 1 airplane. And we have 3 carriers. And 4 subs. They have Carrier Fleet 3, which consists of 5 ships. The first one is a full-blown carrier, a light carrier, a battleship, an escort carrier, and a full carrier. And you know darn well the battleship's going to escort up there. So I'll let you take a quick look. That's the situation. And then that's ours with our destroyer escorts. So that's Carrier Fleet 3, but we're not done. I have a destroyer, an extra one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cruisers. All added to the mix. So since they have 2 full-blown carriers, that's 4 bombers right by itself. The reason I'm bringing this up is I may want to just, I'm going to put this destroyer back to defend our carriers. I just don't need that many cruisers up on the shore. So I'm thinking of like pulling some of them back to fire anti-air to help support the carriers. Right now I can handle 4 bomber groups coming against the carriers, and they have the potential to send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I said bomber groups, I meant bombers. So they have the potential to send 6 bombers at us. Now by moving the destroyer like I did, this guy had a really nice anti-air of 3. I mean, I could have left it there to help anti-air with them. But I can absorb hits with these, so I'm going to put it back so we don't lose our carrier. Okay, so as usual, let's line them up. There's a torpedo, dive, 0, dive, 0, dive on the light carrier, 0 on the light carrier, torpedo, 0 on the escort carrier. Nope. I'm checking. Yeah, escort carrier doesn't have any fighters. It only has a dive bomber. Okay, so that's their loadout. Our loadout, we have some improved stuff, folks. So first of all, our carriers are all, the Yorktown 2 actually has a 6. Because remember, we got the upgrade for surviving. So we have 2 5 carriers, and that consists of a torpedo bomber that's a 4-3. I think it was 4-2 last time. A dive bomber that's a 5-3. I think it was 4-3 last time. Another dive bomber. And a Hellcat, which has a very juicy 6-3 now. Okay, so that's 1. And I'm just going to move the camera so you can see me building it out. So that is the Saratoga, and then the Enterprise has the exact same loadout. So we're going to put the Enterprise loadout right below it. And you got to admit the U.S. carriers are very valuable in terms of the sheer number of planes that they carry compared to the Japanese. Now we're doing the Yorktown 2, which is the Essex class, and what's cool about that one is it has the Hellcat just like the other one. It has the torpedo just like the other ones. It has 2 dive bombers just like the other ones. But in addition to all of that, it has another Hellcat. So we're gonna give them some hell, Hellcats. All right, so let's see how many rounds we're gonna do. This is a juicy battle, is it not? I actually like our shot in this one, but it's still a risky one. I rolled a 4, so it's 2 rounds. And I am going to use a battle point to give myself 3 extra battle plan points. And I'm tempted to just increase the duration. So that way we get 3 rounds to take the carriers out. I really want to pummel them into submission. But one of the things I want is that a bomb success is an extra hit. I think that's good. And then first light would be nice. So we can possibly get an attack on them before they even get to attack us. That would be 2 more, and then I would only have 1 more point. I'm landing in infantry, so I could, but I'm going to do furball, so that way we get an extra dogfight hit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our 2 rounds and try to damage them as much as possible. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They only have 6 units, so they only get 2 battle plans. We don't count their planes. So here's battle plan 1. Battle plan 1 is they get extra ship guns, but see, their anti-air is better. That hurts us. And then they get first light. So their first light cancels our first light, so that's out. Whoops, I threw it back in the cup. Their first light is consumed. I don't know how excited I am about this. They just got increased anti-air. So we have to decide what we're going to do with our bomber groups. Well, our bomber groups are going after their carriers every day, twice on Sundays. So everything you see there is going after their carriers. So I probably want to send a few escorts because they can absorb some of the anti-aircraft hits, which I'm bound to get, especially since they get a +3 to their anti-air attack. The thing is I need to protect my own carriers, so I am going to take one of these and move him back to protect our carriers. I would have, you know what, I'm still going to. I'm going to take one of these and have him protect our cruisers. So, yeah, so I'm going to send 2 escorts in, likely to get shot down. They'll at least be able to absorb 4 hits, and they're going to be able to roll all their anti-air. So they're going to possibly do a lot more than 4 hits to us. So let's see how this plays out, and now we got to see where their stuff's going. So first, their full carrier group is a 6, so they're going after our coast. Next one is a full. That's a 3. There's nobody on the island, so they're going after our coast. Next one is a single valve. It's going after the coast, and the next one is a 2, also going after the coast. So they're going after our transport ship, which sort of thematically makes sense. So now their first 0 is going after our coastal ships. Second 0, I rolled a 7. They're going after our carriers. You know what? We do have a plane there, so yeah, they are. And then the third one, 5, is going after the coastal ships, so they're not protecting their own carriers. So dogfights. Well, right here, we have a 6-3 versus a 7-4. So the 7-4 will be the blue. This is a 5, and that's an 8. Okay, so we actually hit. So their 0 takes 1 hit. Next one is this dogfight here, same thing, 6-3 versus a 7-4. This time they got a 3, we got a 6. We hit them once, but they destroyed us. They hit us twice. So that one's out. Next, there is no next. So now it's anti-air. So we get to roll our best anti-air, which is a 3. That misses. And then our best carrier anti-air is a 6-3, which is an 8. So we actually missed with both. That was a great opportunity to hit something, but we didn't. Oh, we had a dogfight inflicts an extra hit. So I'm going to go ahead and use that and kill their 0. So now the big kahuna. So this thing gives them +3 to all their anti-air. So we have 2 2-1s, which becomes 2 5-1s. Let's roll. I rolled a 6 and a 1, so that's 2 hits, that one. Okay, so then we have a 3, which becomes a 6. That's a 1, that's 1 hit. So we're at 2 hits now? No, 3 hits now. Then we have 2 4-2s, which becomes 7 2s. There's a 7 and there's a 4, so that's 2 more hits, that's 5 hits. So sort of what I was expecting. So both of our Hellcats go down. So, and then I think I'm going to damage one of our torpedo bombers. Oh, look at this. That's a 1942. Got to get that back where he belongs. Where does he belong? What did I do with him? Okay, so let me grab a 43. All right, so it's going to be one of our torpedo bombers. He'll take a hit. So you may not be able to see the numbers real well, but This is a 2, 4, 4, and then 2, 4, 6, 5. So that's another 1942. What's going on? Okay, so 6 5s, 2 4s, and a 2. All right. We get to, it's our turn. Well, they're going to get hit to us too, but let's do us. So let's roll for the 2. Miss. Let's roll for the 2 4s. That's 1 hit right there. Good. And then 6 5s. That's another hit for 2. And another hit for 3. That was actually really wimpy to only get 3 hits. But I'm going to make this into 4 hits. So we just did 4 hits on them. And 4 hits is enough. Oh, didn't mean to scooch everything around. 4 hits is enough to take down 2 full carriers. So I'm going to be fine with that. The Taiyo and the Shokaku are both gone. So that's good. Now they're going to pummel us. So you can see here they have 2 6s and 1, 2, 3, 4 4s. Oh, they also have this bomber group. We didn't even roll for that one. Where would he go? He can't protect. He would be in the same battle. So a 2. So we have 2 and 2 6s. The blue will be the 2. Here's a 6 for 1 hit. And then we have 4 4s. That's another hit. And another hit. So they did 3 hits on us. So we're trying not to lose ships here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 hits. So now we move on to the submarines. I have 4 submarines, each attacking with a 2. Those are all misses and a miss. So they have 3 ships, a 2, 2, 1. The blue will be the 1. They did hit with a 1. So one of our submarines is damaged. And now we move to the naval combat. So we have 2 4s and 3 2s. So here's the 3 2s. And then the 2 4s. We do a hit. That hit is enough to destroy this plane because he had an airfield. That's the only target that was on the island. So their airfield's gone. And so is their plane. And we are landing on the island. We are going to take this island. So regardless of what happens with the sea battle, we're taking the island. But unfortunately, it's not going to help us stay in supply. We're going to lose a lot of supply points next round. All right, there's still one more round of battle, and we're going to bring the heat again. So with the planes needing to land, they have a full carrier and a light carrier. That's all they have left. Did I do this right for them? Oh, I sank the escort carrier. I'm not sinking the escort carrier, I'm sinking the full carrier. Okay, so we sank 2 of the full carriers. So the escort carrier can take a vow, the light carrier can take a vow and a 0, and that's it. So all of these 4 planes all get destroyed. And so does this 0 right here. That gets destroyed. We're going to play that they landed their full strength one. I think that would make the sense. Okay, so we get to go after them again. And I'm going to put my escort over the coast because I believe that's where they're most likely going to attack. So I'm going after the carriers, of course. And now we're going to roll for them. We have to roll twice. This will be the 2. This is our carriers, and this one is the island itself. So they're going after our infantry, and then this one's going after our carrier, and then their 0 is going after, it's going to protect them over the island. So I probably should have escorted over the infantry, but That was my bad. Okay, anti-air. Oh, I forgot. We got to draw their battle plans. So they're drawing 2. The first one is their carrier gets to stop a hit. Second one, I have to draw again. Their infantry gets a bonus, so those are useless. Their carriers do stop a hit, so that is going to help them. All right, let's do anti-air for us. I get to roll a 3. That's a hit. And then I have a 6-3. That 3 is 2 hits. We destroyed their bomber. And then they get to roll a 3. It's a miss. And then these 2 are 2-1. 4 and 10, so they missed. So now they get to roll a 4 against our infantry. There's a 4. They do hit our infantry, which is bad, because since we're out of supply, that infantry is going to get killed. I don't like that. Ugh. All right. But the good news is we will have held the Marshall Islands. So that stupid fortification thing, which by the way is this, I'm pretty sure we hit them more than once. And if not, we're going to this time. So now it's time for us to bring the pain. So here's our 2. We hit with the 2. So that's 1 hit on their carriers. And then we have 2 4s. There's a 4, so it's a second hit. And then we have 6 5s. So there's a 3rd and a 4th hit. And a 6th hit. So they block 1 of them. So we get to do 5 hits on them. So as you can see, carrier sunk, battleship wounded. That's awesome. All right, and the blue will be the hurt submarine, 221. The hurt submarine would have hit, but those are all misses. And then we have one more 2. That's a miss. Our submarines couldn't finish off their battleship there, and their battleship didn't hit us. And unfortunately, that one battle plan saved their battleship from being sunk. Otherwise, we would have gotten the entire fleet. So this battleship is going to be the only thing that's left alive of Carrier Fleet 3. We did take an awful lot of damage, and I'm going to just move you over to here. So what's happening now, since we're in 1943, they actually go into the P2 box. So it's actually going to take 2 turns before they become available again. And this is where we are extremely vulnerable. So we did a wonderful job, and that's why I got super aggressive and tried to take as many objectives as I could, and I only ended up taking 1 of the 3, and I'm going to lose it because I'm out of supply. But I actually have 2 turns to repair these ships, so I don't have to spend it all next turn, but I'm probably going to. So this is our big stack of ships. They are now out they won't be back for another 2 turns. And I'm just trying to gather up all these carrier planes. All right, so that's it. State of the Union is we took 1 from them, they took 1 from us. So we didn't have any net gain. I think we damaged them way more than they damaged us. They did sink 2 of our cruisers in a previous battle, but we just got 4 of their carriers. 2 of them a full-size carrier. I think that is excellent. However, I can tell you they're building like 16 more carriers this year. So every time we sink one, they're just building more. But that is good, because otherwise those extra carriers would be amongst all the currently existing ones. And where am I at here? So we're gonna have to do the Japanese reinforcement. Now, since they did a sortie in their last one, their reinforcement number is low. It's actually an 8. And so I just rolled a 10, which is the best possible roll for them. So now they're at an 18, which means a maximum 1. So they're bringing in 3 ships. And because of the rule, they bring in a 4th one. And then they're going to, this is destroyed. Then they're bringing in 3 infantry. And 1, 2, 3 planes. And I think they bring in another plane. Yes, they bring in a 4th plane because of the stupid rules. So they have a giant pile here in Japan. And now, as far as the carriers are concerned, every time they build one, it's just going to replace one that got destroyed. So right here is a CVE that got destroyed, so they're just replacing that. This is a CVL being replaced. This is the Zuikaku. Oh, we sank the Zuikaku, and so this is them repairing it. So this is the 43 version. And then this is actually a cruiser. So that one would go somewhere else. Right here, we sank a cruiser in Surface Fleet 1, so now they got one back. And then we do the Japanese repair. And I gotta tell you, they actually had a 17 instead of an 18 because this is damaged. So that cost 1 from them. So coming back over to here, one of their infantry goes back on and one of their planes goes back on. Not that it matters. So this is going in for repairs because we couldn't quite sink it. And it just goes to the bottom of their stack. But it does leave the fleet. So we do get credit for that. And that's going to be way more than a few turns before it comes back. Okay. So now we're out of supply. And this is where the bad stuff happens. So everything takes a damage. 1, that would have landed, take a damage. This plane takes a damage. And then our infantry, we do get credit for controlling this, at least at one point in the game, but we lose it. And that flips back to red. And then we do a victory check. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's more than 5 or more than the 4 we needed. So, well, we needed at least 5. You need more than 4. So 6 is more than 4. We're fine. We survived, but just by it wasn't quite as good as I was hoping. All right, I'm at 1 hour and 23. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome. I would have I'm running out of disk space because my previous videos didn't upload. So I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to do. I'll check my disk space. If I have time to do another turn, I will. I'm having fun. I'm nervous, but I'm having fun. And we'll see you soon.